Martial Realm sign in. A few moments later at night, Chul Woo continues to punch as Jin Tae-kyung jumps away and attacks back. Chul Woo blocks the attack as he unleashes multiple combos on Jin Tae-kyung. Jin Tae-kyung said, "Ha!" Chul Woo said to himself, "Ch." He's using the length of the spear to hit and run, as Chul Woo evades and said, "You, sneaky weasel," as he uses his feet to kick. Jin Tae-kyung steps back, and he evades. Jin Tae-kyung said, "Whoops, that scared me. Good try, but you can't hit me with a strike that slow." Chul Woo smirks, and he said, "I wonder if that's true," as he holds the end of Jin Tae-kyung's spear. Jin Tae-kyung said in shock, "Well, what? How can you grab onto my weapon? You're cheating. This is cheating." Chul Woo said, "Go ahead and run your mouth. This'll be the last time you'll get the chance to." Jin Tae-kyung said, "Ugh, can't you just let go? If you don't let go after I count to 3. Chul Woo said, "What will you do?" Jin Tae-kyung said, "Then I'll just let it go. Ha!" As Chul Woo said while trying to get his balance, "Ah!" Cute. Jin Tae-kyung suddenly moves quickly as his knee meets the ugly face of Chul Woo. As Chul Woo said in pain, "Cook." Jin Tae-kyung lands on the ground and said, "Give me my spear," as Jin Tae-kyung punches Chul Woo with incredible force. As he drops to the ground, Jin Tae-kyung takes his spear. Chul Woo said in pain. Chul Woo fixes his nose and said, "Bastard, how dare you leave a wound on my face?" Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, "He's totally fine though. Is he tough or are my fists just weak?" Jin Tae-kyung said, "It's all right, it won't change anything since you're already ugly." Chul Woo said, "That's why it's a problem. I'll be even uglier now." Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, "This punk, unexpectedly, he actually knows himself quite well, huh?" Chul Woo said, "I was going to go easy on you for seeing your brother's sake, but this won't." Jin Tae-kyung said, Sure, go on and fight for real. That's why I'm here in the first place." Chul Woo raises his fist in fury, and he said, "I'll fight you for real now." Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, "Fist energy." As Chul Woo attacks, Jin Tae-kyung's spear suddenly breaks. As Chul Woo continues to pressure Jin Tae-kyung's spear breaks into pieces. Chul Woo suddenly jumps in front of Jin Tae-kyung as he punches, and Jin Tae-kyung flies away. As Jin Tae-kyung lands behind Chul Woo, Jin Tae-kyung said, "Darn it, I was just getting used to this one," as he looks at the remaining piece of his spear. Chul Woo looks behind and said, "Don't even think of surrendering now. This is just the start." Jin Tae-kyung said, "Surrender my butt. Who said I'd lose? Darn you. I'll destroy you." Chul Woo said, "Aha! It seems you still have some pride left for someone who just lost his way. You'd be mistaken to think that my senior brother or your brother will be saving you." Jin Tae-kyung smirks as he steps forward, and he said, "You better give up now instead of saying, 'I didn't know it'd turn out like this later on.' If you give up now, I'll think of ending this as a draw." An ugly man in the crowd said, "Why is he acting like that?" His uglier friend said, "He doesn't have any weapons. Isn't this getting dangerous?" As Jin Wee-kyung patiently watches, Chul Woo said, "How the heck? Do you have the confidence to say that? Are you acting haughty because you have some hidden card? You're not trying to do something cowardly like playing dirty tricks, are you?" Jin Tae-kyung said, "Who knows?" Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, "Dirty tricks. I guess it could be similar because it's something that only I can see after all."
Status window open, the system said.
Ding, as Chul Woo scratches his head, and he said, "Have you gone bananas? Now that things have come to this, don't blame me for what's going to happen next." As Jin Tae-kyung continues to walk towards him with a grin on his face. Chul Woo holds his ground and said, "Northern Tiger Fist, 82nd form, twin pound." A system notification said, "Character, LV, 71. Jin Tae-kyung, class, Peak Martial Master, reputation, 2,900, 250, nicknames, nickname effects are activated, strength, 286, 80-30, stamina, 231, 80-30, agility, 275, 80-30, intelligence, 40, agility, 230-30, attack power, defense, 253, eddy 30, remaining points 70, returner, call stats, 5, sleeping dragon of Shangxi, call stats, 15, reputation, 200, reputable family's child, call stats, 5, reputation, 50, intermediate practitioner, training speed, 20% warrior. When fighting one-on-one, all stats related to combat, 10%. A system notification said, All stats have increased by 30% because of your nickname effects. Strength, 286. A system notification said, the effect of Warrior has temporarily increased specific stats. Agility, 275. A system notification said, please distribute the remaining points. Jin Taekyung's remaining points, 70. Suddenly, Jin Taekyung uses them all up. Strength, 306 plus 30. Agility, 325 plus 30. Suddenly, Jin Taekyung feels the added stat points in his body as he slowly walks forward. Jin Taekyung said to himself, my feet have gotten so light. As dark energy forms in front of him, Chol Woo suddenly appears. Suddenly, Jin Taekyung disappears. Chol Woo is confused as Jin Taekyung is gone. Jin Taekyung said, hey, level 95. As Jin Taekyung puts the stick on Chol Woo's neck, Chol Woo, confused, said, As Jin Taekyung stands behind Chol Woo's back, Jin Taekyung said, I think I've gotten a lot stronger. Ha! As Chol Woo sweats, as the crowd shouts, whoa! A guard outside said, oh, looks like the fight has ended. I wonder who won. His friend said, of course it'll be our lord, you silly goose. The guard said, what? How can you be so sure? We're talking about the Destruction Bloom Fist after all. One of the ultimate Plum Blossom trio. As Hyuk Moo Jin yawns, and he said, I've seen all sorts of things happen as I followed him around. Only someone who's able to beat the Destruction Bloom Fist is worthy of being my lord. The guard said, whoa, does that mean you're on his side? Hyuk Moo Jin said, there are no sides. One day he told me this, hey, martial artist Hyuk, become my right-hand man. Without you. The guard said, well, wait a minute, are you really talking about the third young master? That doesn't sound like him, as Hyuk Moo Jin freezes in shock. Did you just interrupt me? The guard said, no, I mean, it just really doesn't sound like him. Hyuk Moo Jin said, seriously, do you know him well? More than no, I do. The guard said no, as a group of men moves towards the gate. Hyuk Moo Jin said, Taeyuan Jin family, so you dare doubt me? I went through life and death with him, ate with him, I did everything with him. The guard said, all right, please finish what you were saying. Tiger Swordsman Song Il said, considering this is a gathering for Murim factions on the border, it's pretty loud. What would people like them know? They're just people who take in anyone as long as they're feeling good. Hyuk Moo Jin takes his spear and said, stop right there. I'm the team leader of Taeyuan Jin family's Hyuk Moo Jin. Please state who you are and why you're here. Tiger Swordsman Song Il said, Zhongnan Sect, Tiger Swordsman. I'm here to meet Jin Taekyung and Chong Peng. Hyuk Moo Jin said to himself, Zhongnan Sect. At the fight, Baek Muzong, in shock, stood up and said, what? Wo Hua, also shocked, said, what? What just happened? Lee Seowol sweats and said, what happened there? Yun Hyang, confused, said, senior brother? Baek Muzong said, I couldn't see it at all, as he sweats in fear, as he said, that was fast. That was fast? As they all look at Chong Peng in shock and confusion, Baek Muzong said, Master Uncle Chong Peng, please explain in more detail. What martial art did he use? Chong Peng said, he has only learned one footwork and spear technique. While it's simple, it's very practical. But one of them is a divine art, so it's quite strong. He was just fast, way faster than Chol Woo. Hey! As all of them are shocked and sweat, Chong Peng takes 2 more buns and said, cheers! Hee, Lee Seowol said. Ah! Baek Muzong said to himself, he suddenly surpassed his own physical limits without the help of any other martial arts? Is that even possible? Baek Muzong looks away and said, that's impossible. Chong Peng said proudly, it's possible for him. I trained with him once, and he was able to read and counterattack against the Northern Tiger Fist in 2 days. If Chol Woo knew about that, he'd have fought him differently though. Baek Muzong said to himself in shock. Even a recognized Manhwa disciple would take at least a year to learn the Northern Tiger Fist, but he saw through it in 2 days. Chong Peng said, is he that strong? Of course, I'm still a little stronger though. Hee. Baek Muzong said, I now understand why Master Uncle wishes to stay beside him. As he looks back to the fight and focuses, Jin Taekyung said, still not giving up? Not even if I do this. Kukuku. Baek Muzong said to himself, there was another monster here. As Chol Woo trembles in annoyance, Baek Muzong said to Jin Wee Kyung, Sir Jin, I apologize for the disrespect that we've shown. Jin Wee Kyung said, it's okay. Baek Muzong said, both me and my junior brother have learned a lot. Since it looks like the winner has been decided, I think we can just end the fight here. Jin Wee Kyung looks away and said, yeah, all right, let's get going. Baek Muzong said, ah, sure. and he said to himself, did he get offended? Baek Muzong walks away, saying to himself, I did hear that he treasures his brothers a lot, since Chol Woo challenged him in front of one of his beloved brothers. I always ask my juniors to be humble, yet I wasn't able to do so myself. As Jin Wee Kyung clears his throat and hides his emotions from Baek Muzong, as Baek Muzong sighs. Jin Wee Kyung smirks and his cheeks blush from hiding his smile from Baek Muzong, and he said to himself, wow, that worked? As Jin Wee Kyung hadn't expected his brother to win, Jin Tae-kyung swings his broken stick and said, destructiveness is only useful if it hits your opponent with fast and precise movements. Get that? As he taps the head of Chol Woo said, Kyuk, how dare you try to teach me how to fight? Jin Tae-kyung pokes Chol Woo's neck and said, how dare I teach you? Do you still not understand the situation you're in? Chol Woo sweats and said, Kyuk. Jin Wee Kyung said, the winner is the Taeyuan Jin family's Jin Tae-kyung. Both of you fought well. The crowd was shocked. Chol Woo said, I'll destroy you the moment you get down. Jin Wee Kyung said, is anyone else up for the challenge? As Jin Tae-kyung continues to annoy Chol Woo said, Jin Tae-kyung said, hey, are you crying? Well, since this fight is over, I guess you'll have to wait for your chance next time approximately as Chol Woo trembles. Jin Tae-kyung jumps down. As Chol Woo continues to tremble, Jin Tae-kyung was suddenly pulled as he said, what? Chol Woo, in anger, said, it's not over yet. Jin Tae-kyung said, stop while you can. Chol Woo said, are those your last words? As his fist flies towards Jin Tae-kyung. Jin Tae-kyung counters and punches the face of Chol Woo from the side, as 25 years of his life flashes back, and he falls flat on the ground. Jin Tae-kyung said, nope, those are my wise words. Hey. A system notification said, quest, there's a man who loves you a lot, has been completed. The ugly crowd shouted, the sleeping dragon of Shanxi beat the destruction bloom fists. A system notification said, you've obtained a tremendous amount of EXP as a reward for completion of the quest. A system notification said, you've obtained a tremendous amount of EXP as a reward for completion of the quest. Jin Wee Kyung said, would anyone else like to challenge Jin Tae-kyung? As the crowd said, sleeping dragon, Shangxi, Jin Tae-kyung. A system notification said, level up. A system notification said, level up. Jin Wee Kyung said, if there are no more challengers, then the final winner of this competition would be the sleeping dragon of Shangxi, Jin Tae-kyung. As Yoon Hyang and Baek Muzong come to aid Chol Woo, a system notification said, you became the final winner of the sudden event, Taeyuan Jin family sparring competition. A system notification said, your reputation has increased. A system notification said, you've obtained EXP. The old crowd shouted, sleeping dragon of Shangxi. Hooray for Jin Tae-kyung. A system notification said, level up. A system notification said, as a reward for the event, you've obtained 10 bonus points. Tiger swordsman Song Il suddenly arrived and said, ha! As the crowd feels the pressure and said in pain, ugh, ka. Tiger swordsman Song Il steps forward and said, much better. As Jin Wee Kyung looks at Tiger swordsman Song Il, Lee Se-wol's head aches from the shout. Yoon Hyang said, this can happen to some if they have weak internal energy. Please try to breathe slowly. As Chong Pung becomes serious, Wol Hwa and Baek Muzong look at Tiger swordsman Song Il. As Tiger swordsman Song Il stops, Jin Tae-kyung looks at Tiger swordsman Song Il and said to himself, what's with this old man? He doesn't look like he's here to spar. As Tiger swordsman Song Il looks around, left and right, and he looks back at Jin Tae-kyung, and he said, are you Chong Pung or Jin Tae-kyung? Jin Tae-kyung said, I'm neither, and he said to himself, I don't know what's happening, so I'll just play dumb for now. Tiger swordsman Song Il said, you're neither? Jin Tae-kyung said, exactly. I don't know who you are, but I think you've gotten the wrong person. I've never heard of those names before. Tiger swordsman Song Il said, is that so? As Chong Pung continues to eat, Yoon Hyang helps Lee Se-wol. Baek Muzong sweats. Lee Se-wol just smiles and sweats. Tiger swordsman Song Il said, come over here. As his goons come up to the arena, Jin Tae-kyung was shocked. Gong Il-hyuk looks at Jin Tae-kyung. His uglier friend also looks at Jin Tae-kyung. Jin Tae-kyung said to himself, I think these guys are the Zhongnan something from before. As Hyuk Moo-jin sweats and was beaten up. Gong Il-hyuk said, that's him. Another said, he's Jin Tae-kyung. Hyuk Moo-jin said, squad leader, please help. Jin Tae-kyung knocks on his head and pretends to be cute, saying to himself, gosh, I got caught, huh? Tiger Swordsman Song Il in fury rages in flames as he said, "Darn crazy knucklehead." Thanks for tuning in. I truly appreciate each and every one of you who took the time to watch this video. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. If you enjoyed what you saw, consider sharing my videos or channel with your friends who might also enjoy it. Your support means the world to me and helps my channel grow. Let's keep this community thriving together. Until next time, see you in the next video.